Robert K. Merton is another important sociologist in the development of sociology in America. He was a student of Talcott Parsons, and he followed his approach of functionalism. He is also considered as functionalist, but he is functionalist of a different type. He is a functionalist, yet he is different from Parsons. His approach is a little different from the functionalist approach followed by Talcott Parsons. So he considered that same system of functionalism is not applicable to all the systems which might be available in the society. So he tried to, first of all, well, he was, since being a student of Parsons at Harvard, he supported that kind of functionalism. But later on, he went to University of Columbia, and there perhaps he followed a little different approach. He found that universal functionalism can be questioned. So all functions may not be beneficial to the society, to the system. So some functions might be beneficial, some other functions might be harmful. Therefore, to consider that each system performs functions which might be integrative for the maintenance of the society, now that kind of approach he tries to question. And he considered that indispensability of function for the survival of the system is not necessary. So he questioned that a prevalent approach, let's say, in the 20th century. He tried to divide functions into broad two categories, and these two categories he labeled as manifest functions and latent functions. So manifest functions are those which are there for intended kind of intended kind of consequences. So these manifest functions are those which give us the intended kind of functions, but participants in that context, he was of the opinion that participants are aware that these are the intended kind of consequences of the functions. The second was latent functions, and these latent functions might be hidden kind of functions. Manifest, which appear over there, which the let's say we know that the participants intend to reach this goal. They want to perform this function. Unintended might be something which are not let's say part of the intentions of the participants in the system. So unintended consequences he considered as the latent functions, the hidden functions. Therefore, he gave a criteria, and this was the criteria was intentionality. What is the intention of the participant? And then, is he aware of the consequences? So criteria was the intentionality and awareness, and thereby he tried to divide these manifest and latent functions based on 4 criteria. And he first one was the intended functions plus recognized functions. Recognized, intended by whom? By the participants who would like to produce a particular kind of function. Second was intended plus unrecognized. So something is intended, and as a byproduct of that, there could be certain other, let's say, fallouts which were not recognized in the beginning. The third was unintended, recognized. Okay. And the fourth one was unintended plus unrecognized. And therefore, he, as a product of that, when he said all the functions may not be beneficial, therefore, he tried to, let's split these functions also in these two categories, the functions which are beneficial and the functions which are harmful. And these harmful functions he considered as, he labeled them as dysfunctional. And thereby he rejected this idea, this assumption of universal functionality, that all these systems or the subsystems perform functions which are useful for the society, for the integration of the society, for the continuation of the society, for the maintenance of the society, for the adaptation of the society to the environment. So out of the four, he was of the opinion that find out empirically what is the, let's say, type of function, whether it was manifest, latent, and out of this manifest and latent, which was useful for the society and which was harmful for the society. So he was of the opinion, rather than giving a holistic kind of theory, he rather focused on doing research, find out empirically what is the situation, and on the basis of these findings, then logically might go for theory. And that theory might not be a holistic kind of theory, and maybe a theory which is applicable to a certain situation. And he called them as middle lane theories rather than holistic theories. And that we will discuss later on.